Bring me everyone.
You mean everyone?
Everyone! Yes. I don't get it.
Get away from her, you bitch!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We made it past Monday, worst day of the week. But here you are, the best show for whatever the hell we want to talk about. And we have a fun one today. We're not doing any toy news, but I think the topic of conversation is going to be really fun. But to do that, I have to invite some fun friends onto the show. One is our co-host, the man, the Gen Experience, Victor. Hello, Victor.
Woo! Hello, how's it going? Thank you.
I wish I had three hands. Quote that movie, Total Recall. I wish I had three hands.
Yeah. Oh, Total Recall. Yeah, I was tempted to watch that the other day. I was just in the mood.
I'm always in the mood to watch that one.
Well, tonight I'm in the mood for a snow job. See?
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm wearing snow job. My first, real G.I. Joe.
I wore something musical. My Dazzler.
Yeah.
Shirt.
Oh, Dazzler. I'm remembering her name now, but I love Dazzler.
I need more Dazzler shirts. I feel like I have two Dazzler shirts and I wear them all the time.
I'll design you one.
But joining Victor and myself, we have a three-time returner to the show. So I don't know. Maybe what is it? The seventh time you get a jacket for SNL? Maybe we think maybe we give
5. So we might have
5.
to.
So this person might receive maybe not a jacket, maybe like a handshake or a sticker. I don't know. But let's welcome Rodney. Rodney, what's going on?
I was thinking about that the other day. That SNL they got with the gold jackets or something, and yeah.
I think they're green, but you are third. Is he the most? Is 3 the most, right?
I know. I think so.
Yeah.
There
you go. You can have that honor for sure.
the most returning guest.
There you go.
Let's see. We have a fun topic today. We're gonna get to the chat soon. But I do want to give credit. There's a new podcast I watch. I think it comes out on Saturday or Sunday morning, but they're called Boom Busters, and it's 3 guys, and they kind of talk about they were 3 episodes in, but they talk about random topics. And they did have this as their second episode. And, if I'm going to steal an idea, I'm just going to give credit to who I stole the idea from.
You can write on their coattails.
Yes. So the Boom Busters, if you're not subscribed to them, go check them out. I'll put their link in the description when I'm not talking. But first, let's get to the chat here. Pitt Mays, good evening. Good evening, sir. First comment. Well, thank you. Thank you. Anthony Roman 5560, Judgment Night from early mid-90s. Terrible movie. Great soundtrack. Mix of metal bands, hip-hop bands playing together. One of my favorites. Very underrated. Okay.
That's a great comment because one on my list is very similar to that. So I love that a movie can suck, but the music can be just great.
Thanks for my Mona pick last night, Anthony. Oh, yeah. Mona from, what's it called?
Oh, God.
Charles in Charge. Not Charles in Charge.
Who's the boss?
Gotcha, yeah.
Mona. She's going to leave the name for me here. Hello.
Right. So, because there's 3 of us, that means this is going to be could be a long top 10 list. I didn't want to do any toy news tonight, but also, frankly, there wasn't much that I was excited about. So
Boom Busters is watching.
Oh, hey, Boom Busters. We just hopefully, let's see. Oh, yeah.
He said thanks for the love. So hopefully he enjoys ours. Goodness. Now we have a lot to live up to.
And I'll be honest, Boombusters, I should get to know your names, but when I was watching that show, I was like, man, I wanted to be part of the conversation. So the best thing I could do is just make my own conversation. This is a good question. Do musicals even count? Yes and no. So I set a rule. I don't think I told Rodney, but I told Victor no musicals. So I should have emphasized no Broadway musicals that then became movies.
Yeah, you did that for me. You said the whole rule. You said nothing that was a musical that became a movie.
Because I feel like that's cheating. But if it's a movie that is a musical on its own, that's fine. And then maybe later became a musical. That's true,
because that happens a lot now.
That is I feel like that's all that happens now.
True.
Very few original ideas. Would you include TV show soundtracks as well? I mean, Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica had records. My dad. We didn't, but in the future we can. So that's one.
I mean, Laverne and Shirley had one, but I wouldn't put it on my top 10. So,
I mean, if I had to only choose from top 10,
then maybe I would go to these places.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't say so much soundtracks, but if we did something as far as like TV intro songs,
I love intro songs. There's some good ones.
You know, I could list a couple off my head.
You're saying one of my next shows.
Which
there's a lot of good TV shows that become hits.
Which
TV
theme song got you the most hype to watch?
TV songs?
Rapid fire. What was like the one that just got you the most hype to watch?
One with words was Greatest American Hero for me.
Yes, that right there.
American Hero.
That right there, and
that's with words because
and one that I can say it doesn't have words, but it got me hyped was the A-Team.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Like there are other ones that don't have words, but got me just as hyped. So A-Team was one of those too. So absolutely, always two with the words or not.
Yeah.
Mine would be SWAT Cats. Really random, but that intro guitar, that was good.
You have to rate cartoon intros very differently. There are some awesome ones, but I try to put them in kind of two categories. But there are some really good ones, obviously.
Boo, Sweeney Todd is out. I didn't know you were a Sweeney Todd fan, brother. Sup, y'all? Of course, the one I'm in, Star Wars. There you go, Jedi Joe. It's in Star Wars. I remember that Jedi named Jedi Joe.
You talked about your shirt, Dazzler. I said mine's Snow Job. What is on your shirt, Rodney?
So it's G.I. Joe related.
Okay, I see it now. Globulus and
Serpentor and Cobra Commander.
Okay, that's nice. I was trying to see what this totem of evil was, and I couldn't see that.
This totem of evil. We usually like to start off at least with show and tell. So maybe we'll start with Rodney. Rodney, did you get anything this week?
So not this week. I had a couple last week that I got. And then I guess last week also kind of went through, started finally opening up some things that just kind of sitting around taking up some space. So I'll show a couple of those.
You're the resident Mondo guy. There you go.
Yeah.
Finally opened these two out of 4. Well, actually 3 out of 4 I've opened up. So I also got Winston that I opened up. But actually, a couple of Sam Han I opened up as well. Took a photo of that, put on Instagram. And I still got the Ray Stantz with, I can't remember the ghost's name, that I still got to open up as well. So had them and really digging them.
Sam Han, what an awesome character. I love that episode.
I might regret not getting those.
And then I last week was in Walmart, and I know me and you, Thomas, we talked about this, that I've kind of cut down on my Black Series pickups unless I see something I really like or just kind of just want to have. But then I wound up finding Mr. Embo.
Oh,
nice.
From Grogu and Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
And then I think, a side note, my name down here, Den the Wallet Reviews. That's going to be my show when I finally get that going. And I think this is a good name. The first one I'm going to review on there and try my luck at it.
Nice.
Do it. You're going to do great. That's going to be a good figure, and you have a good name. Dent in the Wallet.
And then one last thing is not so much a pickup, but it was kind of sailing back to your show last week on you guys' top 10 pickups year so far. And you guys made mention that you didn't have any Marvel Legends on there. And I haven't gotten too many Marvel Legends this year, but I did pick up one that I finally opened up a couple weeks ago. And I was shocked how much I liked it. It's got its faults, but it's one that if I, make a list end of the year of pickups I've gotten this year, I think this would be one that's on there. But
looks much better than he does in the movie.
But where's the McFarlane head?
So that one I just packed up somewhere, put it with my other accessories. But yeah, I was really shocked how much I would like this one. 'Cause I heard a lot of people talk about they didn't like the fact the way the tail is made.
I hate the tail,
and it is an eyesore. But I just opened it up, and plus I couldn't open up because with my Marvel Legends villains shelf, I just had no room for this sucker. But played around with some things, finally opened it up, and I was really shocked how much I liked this figure.
Well, you know how you solve that with the bigger figures? I found that if you stack heroes on their back like they're attacking them, that's a good way to display them.
So I did at one point with my my comic heroes line where I got, because I bought was it Maximum Spider-Man last year?
Oh yeah,
still in the box. Still in the box because this one, the retro carded Spider-Man, I fell in love with this one. That I know that Max one is probably the more superior Spider-Man figure, but I just couldn't get myself to put it anywhere else, and just didn't know where to put it else. And so I know I played around with putting them on top of the Hulk or the Thing or whatever. And I do have an idea that I saw, and I wish I could remember where I saw it at, maybe doing something with that Maximum Spider-Man, maybe hanging them from the top of the shelf and attaching the Gwen Stacy figure to him as well.
That would be cool.
I'll send you a picture of my Fire Escape shelf, and I have all the Spider-Man on there, but they're on a different level, and I have all the Daredevils on there, but they're on a different level. But I think that is probably my main Spider-Man. Then I got the one that came with the Vulture VHS, which has no pins. So they're both in the same look I want and the same color scheme. So I agree. That is still one of the best Spider-Mans. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Victor, what you get?
I picked up one thing. It just arrived today. So as the resident Transformer fan, I got the new Transformers Age of the Primes Power Glide. So Power Glide here, I actually prepped him to be ready to pull it out. So
with that
here's Power Glide, the new one. Now, as everybody knows on this, who views this, knows that I upgrade my previous. So they're almost identical in transformation, but they're a better size to scale with the rest of the deluxe figures. They're very close. So this was a Power Glide, looks just like the one from the animated movie, but the new one is bigger and better, more articulated. So I love this guy. Just got him today. So that's Power Glide from G1 Transformers, and I picked him up today. So there you go. That's mine.
Astroglide.
That too.
All right. I showed this guy off in the box last week. Hold on. He is so good.
There he is.
Wow.
It's Big Bird. He is heavy. You can tell.
He doesn't fit on the shelf where I have my Sesame Street. He hits the ceiling. So this is going to cause quite the predicament, but he is so cool.
He's got a beautiful sculpt. Really does.
Yeah, that is nice.
The only thing that's weird, this weird like contraption they put to hold his legs in.
Oh, that
doesn't look like it's going to hold up throughout the years, but we'll see.
It's probably realistic to the puppet costume.
So Big Bird.
Did you know Big Bird was a puppet?
My hairy arms. But I did get with him the letter B and his bear. Is his bear named Corduroy? Something like that. I forgot the name of the bear's name. If anyone knows, Follow That Bird. He does
Bear?
come. Yeah, what's his name? Can you look it up? I've been waiting for this to go on sale before I actually made a purchase, but it was so cheap that it was, I think, retail for $50, and I found it. It went on sale for 25. How can you beat that? 6 figures for $25.
Yeah.
This Victor, this is like the equivalent of your Master of the Universe Classics or Origin.
This line right here.
It's like up like same look as the old one.
Then it's like Origins, yeah.
Origins. So look at that artwork.
Okay, that's pretty nice. And even the box artwork impresses me because I don't usually see that in the Turtles world.
Now, what I thought you were going to show off that you got, you might be jealous of this pickup because it came my way first. Wild Bill.
So he's on his way. He already
Yeah.
shipped. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was hoping he'd get here today, but it looks great. I'm looking forward to it. It already shipped, so it'll be coming here in the next couple days.
Yeah, I
don't
think
like-
mine's be coming in tomorrow.
I don't like the green gloves. I've got to try to see if I have blue hands lying around.
Let me see.
He just has the green gloves.
You
There's,
want
there's not
something
enough-
bright and shiny.
there's not enough contrast. And then
You're such a fashionista.
I know. And then this is one of those things that's like, why did I buy this? But it is cool as hell. I just have nowhere to put it, and I'm gonna try to be really careful so I don't knock it down. Do you all know what the Miniverse is?
No.
They
I'm
make-
not sure.
They
Maybe
make like
I'll-
miniature things. They do have now mini record players, which I don't have the record player, but I saw this and I said, "Oh, I gotta get it. It's so cool. It's so cool. Look at that.
Okay.
It's like a little
Little
record
studio.
guitar. It comes with records. It comes with the Fender guitar. It comes with the jack and the amp, and it comes with the guitar case. I had to build this. It's all stickers on the plastic platform. But how cool is that?
I have to admit, it's a beautiful diorama. It's very cool. I know you've been into these for years, getting miniature stuff, and I don't know if Dazzler would fit or maybe your GI Joe band, but
The G.I. Joe band, it would be so
they come with
crammed.
their own.
It would almost be like an NPR Tiny Desk concert.
Right. So that's for Wayne and Garth to do.
Yeah, it didn't come with a Davenport though. So,
Nice.
and that's all I got. So, yeah. Let's get to the chat. And I actually did not pull up the slideshow, so I'll do that. Dog shaking in the background. Victor, you want to pull up some of those comments?
Sure thing. Let's see. I'm scrolling back up a bit. The correct answer, Forrest Gump and Repo, the Genetic Opera. I think we're talking about some people are throwing out some of their favorite soundtracks as well. Now, someone said Space Jam, and definitely I have a feeling we're going to see that somewhere here.
I don't know.
You don't know? Seems up your alley. Now, this was an interesting one from Spaded One. And of course, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. I don't know how it was pronounced. I remember that movie, but I have nothing to do with, I don't know anything about the soundtrack.
And then who else we got? Radar. That's the name of the bear. Got it. Thank you.
That was,
No
I
one
couldn't
man.
find it. They were finding Bobo. I was like, it wasn't Bobo. Now, Retro Anthony did say he was going to live his Mondo life through Rodney. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
Happy I could help.
Yeah, there you go. And the Big Bird movie, did you see it, Thomas? You're young. I mean, you're young. I remember Follow That Bird, but I wasn't into Sesame Street at all. So did you see that movie?
No, we had it on videotape and we watched
Okay.
the hell out of it. And going back and watching it as an adult, like I love the Muppets, and mostly what I love about the Muppet movies are the cameos. They tried to do the same thing with Follow That Bird because there was a million.
Yeah, I do
Cameos.
love the cameos. It's very Muppet. That is the
Yeah.
Muppet universe right there.
It's also kind of depressing when he goes to that like other bird family and they're like monsters. The worst, absolute worst. All right, so again, credit to Boombusters because they did this on their show, but it got me thinking: what are some of those awesome movie soundtracks? You can see some of them on the thumbnail, but we're gonna go through it. There's 3 of us, so there's 10. That means 30 altogether. There's some honorable
He can
mentions.
do math. That's
Yeah.
great. There are 30.
I didn't number them, so I'll just know once we get to the honorable mentions. what number we're
Okay.
on.
Well, I've got mine in order now this time, so it's in front of me, so I know where I'll be at.
So we will start with Rodney as we get through our list. If you are in the chat, there's 15 people here. Go ahead and hit like. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Appreciate it. And as we go through the list, please put your favorites down. We already got a few in there, but if you had to do a ranking, let us know some of the ones that you'd like to see. So,
or maybe a memory of the ones we bring up, because I know that some of these, there's a reason they're our favorites, and maybe you share that.
Yeah, some Easter eggs on the list. I don't know if Space Jam will make an appearance. Maybe.
Why would it?
Maybe. All right. Starting with number 1, Rodney.
So when I just re-listened to this yesterday, and this always brings back memories that when that movie first came out, I didn't see it in theaters, but I remember friends of mine who had seen it had talked about Optimus Prime dying, and
Spoiler.
yeah. And when I finally first time watched it, when that scene hit, I was like, I don't need to watch anything else. So I think I went for a good maybe 10 or so years before I finally sat down and watched the movie. And it really wasn't so much about going back and rewatching it, that there's a movie or soundtrack that's on my honorable mentions that the song is not on the soundtrack, but it's in the movie. And when I saw that movie and they played that song, that drove my interest of maybe I need to go back and watch this movie. And that is Stan Bush, The Touch. And when I finally watched the movie, I was just enthralled that, it's, a bunch of hair metal bands that I just don't even know they exist anymore. But how it's woven in, and just that feeling that just really, it grabbed me. That, standouts for me, Stan Bush, The Touch, Stan Bush's Dare, the movie, version of the Transformers theme, and then even the synth, by score by Vince DiCola, interjected into this. That it, like I said, it's one of those scores or soundtracks for me that I can throw on, and kind of it gives me a good feeling, and also makes me want to just like, hey, maybe I want to pop that movie back in and just take a look at it again.
Was this around the same time as Heavy Metal and the other ones escaping me, Victor? Rockin'.
Heavy Metal came out in 81 or 82. This came out in 86.
86,
The bands that Rodney's talking about, like Spectrum or NRG, these guys, they weren't mega popular at all. Now, some of them have really gotten a following because like Stan Bush really became huge after the fact. But this may appear on the list again because, oh my God.
And then you got Weird Al Yankovic, Dare to Be Stupid on there.
Right. It's a great, the whole soundtrack, especially the score interspersed in there. I sometimes just listen to that score. So it's beautiful music, very spacey. And then what I love about it, and this is what I love, heavy metal, it's Transformers. Come on. It's a great combo.
Captain K Random. Got here just in time to hit the like. Thank you. I see Riddler on the thumbnail, so I know we'll get a chance to talk about Batman Forever. Maybe. I got lots of love for the Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight soundtrack. Is that the one with David Duchovny? Was David Duchovny in that?
I remember the movie, but I didn't see it, so I don't know the stars were off the top of my head.
I remember seeing it probably at a time when I shouldn't have been seeing it.
Because there was that and the vampire one they did.
Oh, Bordello of Blood.
Yeah.
Yes, I also should not have been watching that one. Number 1,
okay.
Number 10.
Number 10 for me. Now, this was unique because when you asked me this, I was like, I got to put this on because all of mine have a great story about it. So this came out in 1989, and my mom knew how much I really did like Disney films, and she bought me the cassette tape.
With the penis on it?
No, that wasn't in well, it probably was, but it wasn't a penis. So this is the cassette tape, and I hadn't seen the movie yet. So my mom buys this for me. I listen to it, And because of the music, I was like, I could tell what the story was going on. So I was like, oh, I really got to go see that movie. So I asked this girl I knew, and we went to see The Little Mermaid, and it blew me away because the animation was so much better than anything we had done before. So it just kind of sits there as it was this soundtrack, the gift of the soundtrack. I got it before the movie came out, was like, okay. So I listened to it, fell in love with the music, and then went and saw the movie and loved that too. So that's why I put it as number 10, because it had a good story. It was a good gift, and it really has a special place in my heart. So there you go.
Did the Disney Renaissance start with Little Mermaid
Right there.
or Oliver and Company?
I think it was Oliver and Company.
Little Mermaid. Well, I don't know, because they started with the Little Mermaid. I don't think they consider Oliver and Company. No, it starts with the Little Mermaid.
Because I mean, Billy Joel and Bette Midler should have been a slam dunk.
100%. And and Huey Lewis is in there too. So absolutely, the Oliver and Company soundtrack is pretty cool. But it wasn't quite there yet. I mean, obviously, it didn't do bank at all. This went gangbusters. Actually, left theaters and came back.
I am a Little Mermaid fan, truth be told. I can't hear "You Got the Touch" without thinking of Boogie Nights, another movie with a good soundtrack.
I was going to bring that up, but yes, absolutely.
Billy Zane and Jada Pinkett, they were in it. Oh, Jada. Can't go wrong with old Disney soundtracks. No,
the old ones.
Yeah.
Nothing's catchy anymore in the movies.
I forgot my order, so I don't even know what my number 10 is.
Surprise.
American Pie 2.
I already know what yours are going to look like, and I haven't seen them because it's almost like when we did that other episode and scenes of movies. I'm like, I think I know where you're heading with this.
Listen, this is probably the only maybe the most modern one on here. So
okay,
maybe not. American Pie 2. This was around the time where I was getting heavy into pop punk. And the whole soundtrack had Sum 41, Newfound Glory, Blink-182, kind of the three heavy hitters of pop
I do love
punk at
Blink-182.
the time. And then there was a few other ones. So I remember getting this soundtrack, but it was also around the same time where I was allowed to go out and spend the night at friends. Probably wasn't allowed to be drinking, but I was anyway. And this was the whole plot of the movie is these guys go up to a house in the summer and they're trying to plan the best party possible. So I love the soundtrack. It has a lot of the bands that I was listening to, and I think to hear those bands in a movie were just kind of like the culmination of summer sounds of my teenage years. So American Pie 2, American Pie 1 also had a good soundtrack, but I do put American Pie 2 above that.
And one thing about because I've got some songs in my iTunes from the American Pie movies, and I was perusing through them the other night, and one thing about those songs, looking back at it's kind of a time capsule, especially the late 90s, and you can see it in the clothing they wore. That Abercrombie and Fitch was big during that time, and that music really fit with that style of fashion at that time.
Yeah, and I think there's a movement of pop punk's not dead going on for 10 years now, but it's dead. It died years ago. It's not coming back. You can't have this music anymore singing about teenage life. It just doesn't resonate with people still go back
because there isn't even teen life anymore.
I know. So, but the sound is of teenage years. So the generic pop punk is kind of hard to listen to now, even though I still love it. But Scotty doesn't know from Eurotrip blows away the entire American Pie 2 sound. Listen, that was one of my favorite songs to play on guitar. Fun.
You should pull out the guitar one day.
I got my little one right here.
Your ukulele? Oh, there, that one.
Now I messed it up. I can't get it back on. All right, that was my number 10. Number 9. Where was Anthony Roman?
Yeah.
So I've seen this movie, but I don't remember the soundtrack at all. But you're not the only one, Rodney. So someone else in the chat mentioned Judgment Night.
Yeah, and I've got a coworker much younger than me, and we talked about I think we talked about soundtracks sometime back, and I brought this up to him, and his first words to me was like, I've never heard that movie. And like Anthony said in the chat, it's not a great movie, but it has a great cast. Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr. before he won the Oscar for Jerry Maguire, Stephen Dorff, Dennis Leary, Jeremy Piven. And this one always stuck with me from when this came out. I think I was maybe 8th, 9th grade or something. And I remember all my buddies had talked about this soundtrack, that, you know, they're like, it is the best thing. It is the best soundtrack at that time. And then when I finally got my hands on it and listened to it, fell in love with it. Because like I mentioned with the American Pie movies, this soundtrack is the 90s. This is the 90s in a lump sum, that you got a lot of, when you're starting to get in the 90s, you're starting to drift into kind of darker music, you know, bands like Nirvana, I think Green Day, and Stone Temple Pilots, you know, and that. And then also on the rap side, you know, you're drifting away from MC Hammer into Ice-T is starting to really, you know, make his way, NWA, and so on. And in this, you're taking those metal, you know, that metal and that rap at the time and combining it. And so you got a lot of, you know, like I said about the Transformers, you got a lot of bands in this that you probably don't even know if they exist anymore. And just case in point, you got a song here, and I got it pulled up, you know, the title track, Judgment Night, Biohazard, and Onyx. And outside of this song, the only Onyx song I remember is Slam. Other songs that stand out here, you got Living Color and Run DMC, you know, together. Yeah, Teenage Fan Club and De La Soul. Native American rap group at the time, Booyah Tribe and Faith No More, with their song Another Body Murdered. And then you got Just Another Victim, Helmet, and House of Pain. And then there was one more, Mudhoney and Sir Mix-a-Lot. And then you got The Real Thing, Cypress Hill, and Pearl Jam. And like I said, those groups right there, those combinations right there, if they don't scream 90s to me, I don't know what does.
I'm going to do some homework after this because I need to go listen. But I knew every name you mentioned. I just didn't recognize the song. So I'll have to.
Ron, you sound like you studied this.
I have on another page pulled up some notes just so I don't forget anything. Mince with Card. Hey fellas, sorry I'm late. I was doing some woodworking, and as Victor said, who doesn't like working with wood? It's all rap rock collabs.
That's what it sounded very cool, that they were doing something very integrating some things that hadn't been done. So that makes it unique.
Biohazard still around. You know, with what was it, Run DMC and Aerosmith, like, weren't fans pissed that they would even collab? I thought it was like one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah. And that was at that time. That was only the, you know, only thing we really had as far as like rock and rap meeting one another. And then, like I said, you know, you have, you know, this movie comes out, and, you know, most of those, you know, groups I mentioned weren't really big names at the time, but just hearing that flux of rap and rock, you know, together, it was something that was just, it always stuck with me. And then, you know, then down the line, you have things like Jay-Z and Linkin Park doing their collab together.
Yeah. What year did this come out?
93, I think it was. Yep,
oh,
93. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, by 97, 98, the rap rock thing was huge. Limp Bizkit, like you mentioned, Linkin Park, then the collabs they did. Stephen Dorff with an uncredited poster. I noticed that. I saw him there, but then his name is not up there. I thought that was funny. All right, so I have some homework to do. I have to go listen to Judgment Night. This was your number 9. Victor's number 9 is...
Well, somebody's got to make it a variables here. We got some various here. That's what this whole list is going to be very exciting. Very different all across the board. I think I'm just from a different world.
I put Victor in the corner. Sorry. I just...
Why did you put him? Oh, God. Thank you for that. I did deserve that. Dirty Dancing, sleeper hit. People didn't think it'd be popular, and here we are, a bazillion years later, and it is an astronomical success. But that soundtrack, they worked so hard. They didn't have any money for a soundtrack. They did want modern music. They decided to find as much music as possible that was in the public domain. So they searched for that to save some money. Now, obviously, they spent some money on Bill Medley and Jennifer Warren's, I've Had the Time of My Life, but also Patrick Swayze did a song. But other than that, you've got, you have Eric Carmen, the Ronettes. You have really old songs like Hey Baby, Hungry Eyes. She's like, that's his, but Be My Baby was very popular. So it's a very retro 60s soundtrack, a lot of fun. It goes with the movie really well, but when you watch the movie, the music is just another star. So that really accompanies it. And that's the best kind of movie, when the music can really accompany it so well that it just becomes another reason why it's loved. And so most of them are older songs. It fits the time period with a couple of new ones in there. So Dirty Dancing soundtrack is still a lot of fun because you can just listen to it and do anything, and most of the words. And that's what I like to do. I like to sing. So I like to sing along with my songs.
Yeah, She's Like the Wind was something that was played a lot in my house growing up. That was kind of the earworm that's like, oh man. And then as I got older, it's like, yeah, I really like this song. I heard it a million times when I was a kid, and I really like this song.
I feel like
it is underrated. The fact that Patrick can do anything, here he is going to a song. This
soundtrack would play at weddings, like not in its entirety, but like every song at some point would play during weddings.
Songs for
I've Had the Time of My Life usually was like the
I Had the Time of My Life.
It usually was like the last song at the bar.
Right.
Let's catch up in the chat real quick. If you want to hear some great modern rap rock, look up Slay Squad. Okay, look up that. Anthrax and Public Enemy. That was the other one I was thinking of. Did Bring the Noise, and a lot of people blame them for the entire rap rock craze. So so they got some heat.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber equals the best 90s
Dumb and
soundtrack.
Dumber.
Totally forgot about that one. Yeah, it's a good one.
Finally, an 80s movie. The 80s had great movies with awesome soundtracks. Of course
they did. Thank you very much.
It's like, stay tuned.
There are some 80s ones on my list.
More.
There are some 80s ones on my list. Just saying. She's Like the Wind is an underrated banger. Play it at full volume. I will on my way to work tomorrow. Agreed. She's Like the Wind is a good one. Every song is a banger, but Swayze singing knocks it out of the park.
I think Swayze's winning at the moment. Pretty awesome. And it was something where I thought his voice was like, oh, sure, maybe, but it was a great song. I wasn't sure he was a great singer, but it was a good song.
So this might be the first of a few, but this is a mixture of just an awesome score and then an awesome movie song. So these are the kind of songs I listened to this album like growing up as a kid, and I remember at summer camp, a camp counselor had it and he burned it for me. He burned me a CD, and I remember that intro song. The intro credit song was amazing. But then Bryan Adams, the Bryan Adams song is still one of my favorites to this day.
I agree.
Everything I do it for you. And if you remember, at the end of the video cassette, either during the credits or before, it's the music video is playing, at least on the videotape. So this is probably one of the older ones on my list, but it is also a score / awesome song.
And you mentioned about the opening song, which I have on my my iTunes, and I love that, more so because I can't remember if it was maybe Disney or another movie company that I think on their DVDs or VHS
Disney
they would play a montage with that music.
They did use it. That's right. It would be like on their DVD, like before the movie, it would be like just showing off the other, these movies are also available.
Yeah, and they would play that song in the background of that. That was something that always stuck out to me with this soundtrack.
Repo Man equals best 80s soundtrack. Another Emilio Estevez movie.
Yeah.
The Swayze love is palpable. I am among my people. I effing knew this was coming up. As soon as I saw Dirty Dancing, I knew this was my kind of list. All right. So moving on from my number 9, and we lost Victor. Maybe he's coming. Maybe the storm is hitting him. Let's see. We got one more comment. Bryan Adams killed it with that song. I also like the All for Love one with Rod Stewart and Sting from that Three Musketeers movie. Yes, which had Oliver Platt, Chris O'Donnell.
And you know, another one that's like the movie's not that good, but that song.
Yeah. And who is Oliver Platt, Chris O'Donnell? I'm missing 2 of the other actors.
Charlie Sheen and Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, I totally forgot they were in it. Welcome back, Victor.
Thanks. I had to do a little
moving. Yeah, we are moving on to number 8. All right, this is a fairly new one.
Yeah, so I think this and there's 2 other ones that are, I guess, within the 2000s range. And this one could go higher for me or where it's at right now. And anyone in the chat, think that I have it in the wrong spot. I apologize. I love this soundtrack. And, similar to what you're saying, Victor, about Dirty Dancing, that's the same way I feel about Baby Driver. Is the music. There's a lot of, when I saw this in theaters, there are a lot of songs that were played in it I had no idea about. But the way they used the music to flow with the movie grabbed me that I was like, I got to get this soundtrack. And it's one of those ones that I know for the longest time when I'm at work, and especially like on a Friday where I feel like, okay, I got some work to get caught up on, but I know it's not going to, maybe take a lot of energy out of me to, get this work done. This was always my go-to. Pop it on and get the job done. And I know one of the standouts to me, I can't recall the name of the song, and I'm sorry, but there's a scene in the movie, if you guys have seen this, towards the end, where the song is woven into the sound effects.
That's cool.
So there's a shootout going on. John Hamm is in the middle of a shootout, and as he the gun is going off, the do do do, it's playing along with beats in the song. So the bullet fire is playing with beats of songs like ding 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 boom boom boom, and then we probably will get to more movies like this, soundtracks like this, but the music in itself, it's a character in the movie.
Yeah.
That you got the
like
character Baby who he's making tapes, and that's his whole thing, channeling through music, and Edgar Wright uses that music to flow the storyline, and like I said, the music is in a sense a character to it.
Let's see. The primary song during the iconic gun warehouse shootout scene is Tequila, performed by Button Down Brass.
I think that's the one. It's been a while since I watched Baby Driver, but yeah, I just remember, because I remember I tried to show my wife this movie and she hated it. I don't know why, but and I always told people this is the smart version of Fast and the Furious.
Very nice. That's a good analogy.
And and it just that song. I remember when I tried showing her that, like I said, she hated it, and that scene came on, and I was like, oh my god,
She respected it all.
Heard the gunfire play along with the beat of this song, and she was like, don't care, whatever. Is the movie over?
Is Tequila the same song as the one from Pee-wee?
No, it's a different one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't think of that, but I hope not.
Tequila. Fingers crossed for a Wayne's World appearance. Although it has its great moments.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, I do kind of want to go. I've seen this years ago, but I don't remember it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again. So this is number 8. Number 8 for Victor.
No, this is number 1098. Yeah, this is 8 for me.
I got it right.
I'm writing it down. Yeah. So this is my first score. I think I only have a couple, but this, you got to imagine, close your eyes, lay in bed in the dark, and have this to go to bed with. The opening of this soundtrack with just the stomping effect, which isn't stomping effect, it's just done with music as well, but you know what it's supposed to be. It's a great start. Plus the strain of high-pitched music that comes up, that can keep you awake. But I went to bed to this for a couple of years. It would play on CD in my CD clock radio that I had by my bed. So yeah, I definitely love everything about this soundtrack. This score is amazing. It went with the film really well. But overall, I can hear this. I know what it is. I feel good about it. Jurassic Park was one of my favorite films to see in the theater. Blew me away. But the soundtrack, I don't know. It is absolutely in my top 10. This was a no denying it had to be in there.
Rest in peace, Sam Neill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As of
I'm with you on that, Victor, that, you know, I always tell my kids, you know, like, when I first saw Jurassic Park, and you know, when seen in the theater, and I remember leading up to me and a friend growing up with going to see that, you know, you had a lot of marketing, you know, of like little bits and pieces to get that taste in your mouth of I want to see this. And I'll never forget, they would show commercials of the helicopter coming to the island, but you didn't have the music in those commercials. But the first time seen it in theaters, and that helicopter coming across the island, and they play that da 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 da. I mean, I just remember the hairs of my neck stand up, and just like, wow, we are about to go on an adventure.
They didn't want to spoil the trailers either, which I love. What you just described makes me think they were like, don't, because when you see it with this score, damn it, it's going to even be better.
Just having that song is like, we're about to go on an adventure here. Wow.
Adventure. You're right. It was an introduction to, are you ready?
Yeah.
Which might have been the best adventure score since Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of the timing between The Last Crusade and this. So you probably, I can't think of anything in between that was, so we were probably starved for a good adventure score.
You're probably right. I think that was 89, Last Crusade, and this was 93.
Yeah. And then like we talked about, you know, before the show, that it, you know, because you guys, you know, mentioned that you guys have a mixture of scores and soundtracks, and I went more, as Thomas, you say, the lyrical albums. But you know, and I mentioned that if I had put scores on here, my list would have been nothing but like John Williams scores.
Right, all scores. It wouldn't be surprising to a lot of us to love those scores.
Whenever I walk into the Jurassic Park area of Universal, I always whisper into my wife's ear, I'm a dinosaur. I'm a dinosaur.
So you added lyrics. That's awesome.
I did. I remember seeing Jurassic Park in theaters and the whole audience gasping when the Brack showed up with the music swelling. Never had the experience ever again. Yeah, I mean, at that time, I don't think anyone
blew us away, and I was silent. I was like,
I mean, Terminator T2 came out a year before, and the visual effects were definitely amazing, but like a dinosaur,
nothing like this that we just assumed we knew what a dinosaur looked like from you know,
museum
drawings and stuff, and then just see it, and it's like no one is like they created that, but oh my god.
Yeah, and I don't care what history finds out nowadays that dinosaurs have feathers.
That's the dinosaur. That's our dinosaur.
Yeah. Best movie soundtrack got to be either Judgment Night, made an appearance a couple of entries ago, and The Crow. Crow's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of Judgment Night fans here.
I know, yeah. That makes me definitely want to go watch it tonight. This score was played a lot during high school band concert season in the 90s.
I remember being played on a lot of places, no matter what, even on TV, it's specials, they would definitely play that.
Batman was in between those.
I don't know if I'm going to say Batman was an adventure, but yeah, Batman, like the 89, you know, score was really good.
This soundtrack, Aladdin's my favorite Disney movie. But for some reason,
so good.
I put this soundtrack above because a little pop, a little classic Disney, a lot of gospel. It just had everything. And you had the muses that were kind of like your narrators of the story. Just everything was hitting on all cylinders. So even though this is not my favorite Disney animated movie, it's definitely up there. I do think the score and the score, and was it not? It wasn't Eric Clapton. Kenny G.
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton did the pop song version. Yeah.
Michael Bolton. I remember the music video because he's walking around. He's walking around a giant miniature of Greece or Athens. But yeah, so many bangers. Go the Distance. What a song. Zero to Hero. Just so many. So
this movie is one of my favorite films, Disney animated films, but the soundtrack, you're right, 100%. And they have all the gospel, but Meg's song is actually kind of a 50s doo-wop. So they got some different genres in there too. Her song's more of a 50s kind of like doo-woppy kind of thing, and it's kind of fun.
Oh yeah. It's just I know it's not, we're talking about soundtracks, but the animation, this is the first time I think Disney took a swing and changed the style a little bit, giving it like everything, those like Greek like circles, and making everything part of the same aesthetic, like the clouds, and this blended CG with hand-drawn animation very well.
Did you guys ever play the PlayStation game?
I did. Yes.
I love that game.
Actually, no, I played it on PC. So, but it was the same game.
Yeah.
All right. This is number 8, right? For all of us?
Yep.
Dude, the Michael Bolton song on Hercules is out of control. So good. Yeah, his version of the song was a little easier to sing than the other version. At least for me.
I have tried to do karaoke of the version from the movie. It is hard.
Look at that. Disney's sweeping.
Oh God, this is so good.
This is Rodney's number 7.
So I know Watch Mojo. I watched a video sometime back and they did a video. It was like some title like Disney songs that had no reason to go hard. And me and a coworker one day were talking about soundtracks, and he brought this up, and it was one that I've got another one on my list that I feel the same way. And I told him the best way I could describe the Tarzan soundtrack is I have never done a drug in my life, but I imagine this is what it feels like to do cocaine. That it just, I love Phil Collins, and I remember I had no intentions of really wanting to see this movie when it came out, but I heard put your face in your trust, believe in two worlds. Yes, to sing it out. And that kind of grabbed me. That I was like, I think I want to see this movie because of that song, the little bit of that song I heard, and then from there you got. You got that. You got Son of Man. You'll Be in My Heart. And then the one that just takes it to the top, Strangers Like Me. And that one. And then you go back to the Two Worlds, and there's new versions of it that they played throughout the credits.
Throughout, like reprises and updates.
Yeah.
Right.
And I told my coworker, I was like, like I said, I've never done drugs in my life, but I believe the Tarzan soundtrack is what it feels like to do cocaine.
This era is, from Little Mermaid on. I love Tarzan. I thought it was gorgeously made, but the music of Phil Collins, although some of the songs, they kind of have a similar feel to them, they're each uniquely different. And Son of Man, Strangers Like Me, you named them all. The funny thing is you didn't name, and I find is the worst, is that, the Rosie O'Donnell song, which Spaded one mentioned in there. Crashing the Camp. Fun song, but, it's not one of those that's just memorable for me in the soundtrack at all.
And that's why this one is fairly low for me, because, you're right. That Rosie O'Donnell one, it does nothing for me.
And they tried to make the pop version, which is Rosie O'Donnell in NSYNC or something there.
Yeah.
Or
still does nothing for me.
Man. It's like, wow, they chose poorly.
Yeah. It's like you had it going with the Phil Collins of it all.
Yeah.
And even so, like, it's not on here, but I think maybe the next year or a few years later, you bring Phil Collins back to do the main song for Brother Bear. And it's still, kind of same thing of like a great song, by the maestro.
Strangers Like Me, when I used to do marathons and stuff, that was always the song I put on closer towards the end.
Really?
I don't know why. Yep, that one.
Get go last leg kind of run.
Yep. When it picks up, that is the time to like
Mhm.
power through and get through the rest of the race. That and go the distance as well.
Well, I've got a little secret. I was the stage manager for the Tarzan Rock Show at Animal
I was
Kingdom.
going to ask.
And
I was going to ask,
so
Victor.
if anyone's ever been to Animal Kingdom years ago, they had a Tarzan Rock Show, and it was rollerbladers, acrobats. It was beautiful. And so I was just felt lucky being able to be in that show. Stayed for the show because it was live saying. It was music, live musicians on stage, and live singers. So all those great songs came to life every day. Loved it.
So Victor personally knew Tarzan.
I did. All of them.
And we can't forget, not music related, but I think this has one of the most violent villain deaths ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Just
Well,
the
I'll say two of the most violent deaths I can think of. Yes, the villain and the beginning of the tiger taking the
that's like
baby
alluded to the parent's death. But even the leopard's death himself is pretty, even though again alluded to, it's pretty vicious.
Yeah.
See, they trusted 90s kids with death. Just saying.
They did. Okay. My younger sister, I want to loved the Tarzan soundtrack, and I had to be the teenage older brother who pretended it was lame, but always liked it. Still rock it today. Son of Man is the gem. That great point. I love how he took that. That's such a true older brother statement.
And don't forget the wonderful toy they gave us doing this hand motion.
Yep. Tarzan action figure with action.
All right. Victor's next one is.
All right. So I think we're at number 7. It's Lost Boys. I wore out this tape. I really, really loved it, especially People Are Strange by, I think, Echo and the Bunnymen, that version of it. But Lost Boys in general, what a great film. Loved the VHS, loved it in theater. Just everything about it was so like, ooh, this is new age vampire. And the soundtrack just went with it. From the saxophone player to every musical interlude in between, the score, the more musical portions of it. It's all good. It just works in the movie. You don't even know they're there, except when they want you to know the song is there. So it's really great.
I did not know this was a musical now.
It just became a musical. I tried to listen to it, but as with many modern musicals and musical movies, nothing very catchy, but it looks good because they got a lot of production value, people flying and jumping. So that's nice.
So we were talking about rap rock before, the fire pit scene where they're all getting their head bitten into.
Oh my God, that bite into their head and the blood spraying everywhere. Great
playing
scene.
Walk This Way. Yep. When You're Strange, I think sets the stage for the town of Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
You didn't mention the saxophone guy.
I did. I said all the way from the saxophone guy to yes, I did.
Tim Capella. He's still going. He's still doing shows to this day, and he's still more jacked than I am.
I have buddies
he's still greased up, wearing a chain. Still dressed. I knew he did. Yeah, he still dresses like that. I thought he did. I'd seen him recently, and I was like, "That's amazing." But what a moment in a film can do for someone's career too.
Oh my God!
And he play that guy.
He looked like a superhero. Tim Capella still dresses in his outfit from the movie and performs with the saxophone today. Man, that guy was jacked. No business being as good on a saxophone as he did. Nightmare Before Christmas, better show.
That would be your world, I think.
I mean,
I love the conversation in the chat about, hey, is this going to show up? This better show up.
That's so funny. We're seeing a lot of love, right, Rodney? Maybe they won't all show up, but it's nice that people are throwing out their favorites. Because Nightmare, it is a great soundtrack. I don't think of it often. I usually think of my more youth because as I get older, I don't think of the music as much, or I don't really get into it. So these will be more of my.
And like we talked about earlier, that there were a lot of soundtracks that I loved that I couldn't fit into here. And someone earlier made mention of the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack.
Yeah, do you know that?
Yeah, and that's one that like I love Dumb and Dumber, and at the time of seeing it when I first saw it, the music at the time did not grab me. That it was not music I was into at that time. But as I grew and watched the movie religiously, a lot of songs really stood out that I had to get the soundtrack, and it was one I played constantly after a while. I mean, New Age Girl, goodness, so many of them, and so on.
I also
I'm
think
familiar with it. I will say.
to Spaded Ones. I mean, Disney's already sweeping. We've had Mermaid.
And I actually purposely stayed away. I had that one.
I tried really hard to stay away, but
I did too.
I
sometimes
tried to, because it
It's
can be
on
easy to fall into that.
Yeah.
it's inevitable. Lost Boys, great choice. I almost wore my Lost Boys tank top, but I did not.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
I wish you had.
Next for me, not an 80s movie, but it takes place in the 80s. Now,
Oh,
this is
nice. Okay.
definitely a choice where the soundtrack is a character for sure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the kills are based around what song is playing.
because you
It's
feel
a-
like the character's choosing them too. You feel that way.
Yeah. Yes, and I had to pull this up to kind of read through some of the ones that we had. You Spin Me Around, Something in the Air, Watching Me Fall, True Faith, Trouble, Paid in Full, Who Feeling It, What's on Your Mind, Pump Up the Volume. But the songs that I remember the most were during the most brutal scenes, and that is Susudio. That's right before he attacks the hookers. Lady in Red, I think by Chris de Burgh.
Mm.
All right. So just all well-rounded 80s soundtrack. And the way he even like goes on for like minutes describing why the song is good.
And you hit it around the nail that someone earlier mentioned about they can't hear the touch without thinking about Boogie Nights. So I can't hear Susu Studio without thinking about that one scene.
That threesome.
I can't hear Hip to Be Square without thinking about him bludgeoning Jared Leto and putting on the raincoat.
Like when he puts it on, like the way he moves, just like
And so nonchalant about it. Hey, this was off this record called Sports, and it was really
Yeah.
or like when he's walking in the like this became a meme when he's walking in the office and Walking on Sunshine is playing.
Walking on
Like,
Sunshine.
It's like me walking in the office versus what I'm listening to. That is now a classic meme. 1999. I was 12 when I watched this, and then I went
when I saw Terminator 2.
and then I went to Barnes and Noble and bought the book and read the book, which they described
did?
everything else. I read this book. What a that might explain why I'm a little messed up. But Paul Allen had it coming.
I mean, I always said the thing for me that always like shocked me from the movie was, first time I saw it, I rented it. And because I remember hearing, at that time, people kept talking about Christian Bale should play Batman. He should play Batman. And I wanted to see what the hype was about. So rented a movie, watched it, and fell in love with it. That I was like, I want to watch the behind the scenes stuff. And then so watch the behind the scenes stuff, and they're interviewing Christian Bale, and he's got an accent. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what just happened here?
Yeah. The monologue that he does before he bites a woman's Yahoo off was the greatest love of all. So I mean, the
juxtaposition of the song and the action is what makes it almost a dark comedy. It is what makes it a dark comedy.
So American Psycho, I think it's my number 7. So
Little trivia
American
on
Psycho,
Christian Bale, by the way. He was in Pocahontas.
Thomas. He was Thomas.
Yes, and he has his English accent.
I say that in my last video, actually. So,
Oh,
just saying, because he did have an action figure.
Yes, he did. That's right. I remember that.
American Psycho keeps the streak alive of Jared Leto not making it out of a movie without getting murdered or disfigured.
Happened in He-Man.
Rightfully so. Next up on the list goes to Rodney. Good choice.
Oh,
Good choice. Good
nice.
choice.
So this is another one. Like I said, I didn't have too many of like kids. Nowadays, a lot of movies move away from the soundtracks. And someone said it earlier. You know, I grew up in the '80s, and so the '80s had the best soundtracks. And I always said that those soundtracks kind of shaped how, you know, what music I liked. And when this came out, and the songs I played in the movie, at a lot of the artists that are on this, and especially my feelings about, you know, current day rap and stuff, you know, coming on, you know, to today, I'm not really a fan of. And there are some, you know, artists that, you know, current that are big that I do enjoy, and there's a lot that I just don't care for. But with this, similar to I mentioned about Baby Driver, it was in some aspects a character in the movie. That, you know, he used the music to kind of get through his life, get through his you know, day-to-day life, and especially taking on the mantle of being Spider-Man. And there was a lot of songs that I remember coming out loving that made me kind of like, maybe I want to, you know, take a listen to some of these artists and see if there's something that I may like, or just this is the one song that they had that I really liked.
Probably Post Malone. That song in the movie is that's the one my mind goes to immediately. Yeah. Sunflower.
Well, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But this movie has changed animation.
Yes.
Everyone's trying to chase this dragon. Like, and
I know for the longest time, I remember kept saying, I was like, you know, for me, it kind of opened, like you said, it opened the doors for infinite possibilities. Because at the time, you know, all people knew was Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you bring in Miles Morales, and I looked at it that, you know, that if you get the right people and bring in this character, and the right people write that this character, that people love this character, DC, you gotta look at it and see what they're doing to make waves to make a Batman Beyond movie. You know, because people just know Bruce Wayne, but some of us also know Terry McGinnis. Right. And I always felt that after seeing this, it kind of set the blueprint for what we could potentially, maybe down the road, get as an introduction to Batman Beyond on the big screen.
They don't have the guts, but you know.
No.
I think if they don't do that before Michael Keaton's time is up, that would be a shame.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe the same movie studio that made Morbius also made this.
Yes. Yeah.
Watching Toy Story 1 became one of my faves, but Sid made me torture my action figures.
Or action figures.
Ouch.
I was very nice to my action figures. Grew up in the 90s. I agree with y'all. Music doesn't hit the same. It does, just not the ones that you're being pushed, probably. Still waiting for a cyberpunk aesthetic Spider-Man 2099 MCU project. That'd be cool. All right, I think we're on 6 or 7.
6.
Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink. What a fantastic film. Those who have seen it, you know it's a great film. Those who haven't, check it out. The soundtrack again is one of those that just goes along with what's going on. But you've got people. The biggest number, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, or OMD. If anyone doesn't know who OMD is, go out and listen. It was If You Leave. So beautiful song for the film. But Suzanne Vega's in it. In Excess, Psychedelic Furs, New Order. The soundtrack is such an 80s soundtrack of various kind of music. It kind of, if you know the character that Annie Potts plays in the movie, it changes the soundtrack so much as Annie changes her character's costume, changes her, kind of aesthetic throughout. But it's just 80s for you. It's that whole like feeling of like, the 80s music was kind of testing things. Everybody was different, not like today where everything is identical, but popular music could be different. So as Thomas put it, being pushed to you, the music that we were being pushed in the 80s was all different. Everybody was trying something new. So we had a kind of a smorgasbord, when today you only are being served the same dish. So this soundtrack is an example of here's everything you ever wanted in one. So I do believe that this soundtrack deserves a spot in the top 10, and people need to revisit it.
Ducky lip syncing is the best scene.
Mhm.
I think a lot of the Brat Pack movies gave us some incredible soundtracks. Although I don't think any others made it to the. I guess maybe. Would you consider the
Breakfast
Lost
Club?
Boys?
I was like, well, there's only one. This one had a better soundtrack overall, although we remember the Breakfast Club song.
Would you consider the Lost Boys a Brat Pack movie since Haim was in it?
No.
He wasn't part of the Brat Pack.
No.
No,
I always looked at more of like St. Elmo's Fire.
you need to have somebody from that, St. Elmo's thing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the Corey movies are just a genre on their own.
On their own.
License to Drive.
License to Drive.
Yeah,
I still watch
those
that
are
movie.
Corey. Correct.
Dream a Little Dream, one of my favorites. Although it's kind of cringe watching Corey Feldman dance like Michael Jackson then and watching him try to do it now.
Do it now and dress like him still.
Can't fool me, Lex Luthor. All right.
Lenny Luthor.
That's awesome.
Straight score.
Beautiful.
No lyrics. No lyrics
Yeah.
at all. Hans Zimmer and Klaus Badell. I think I said that right. So many notable titles on this score. He's a Pirate. Skull and Crossbones. When I talk about marathon running songs, these were ones that I would always put on to finish a race. Skull and Crossbones. Oh my God. Next time you're working out or just want to feel the rush, like Skull and Crossbones. Skull and Bones is great. But he's a pirate. When I applied to work at Disney years ago, believe it or not, I know most jobs you just apply, you put your resume in. Disney had a trailer for kids that wanted to do the internship, and this song was was in the background of the trailer for your job. So imagine giving your job application and it had a score behind it, and it was He's a Pirate. And I'll never forget that. It was one of the coolest things in the
That
world.
will live forever for you. So that will stay with you forever.
I remember it was a video you had to watch. It was like, do you want to work at Disney? Here's some of the things you might experience. And it was playing He's a Pirate while doing this montage of like fireworks going off and people going down Splash Mountain. And I just remember being like, whoa, I get to work here. So cool. So that was awesome. But other than that, it was just a sick soundtrack.
100%. I think they blew it out of the park.
They played part of the Pirates soundtrack at the UFC White House card, live band and everything. What?
Well, okay then. I got a
Disney
little
won't.
trivia for Pirates. So Jerry Bruckheimer, who's the producer of Pirates of the Caribbean, while opening Shanghai Disneyland, while I was living in China, I got to actually bring him on the ride alone because he wanted to go back by himself. So they said, go with him. So we went and I got to ride it with him. I rode in the back, he rode in the front. It was very nice. It was a good little memory I have of Mr. Jerry.
Which I haven't been there, so you'll have to tell me. But from what I understand, that is the best Pirates of the Caribbean of any Disney park. Is that correct?
It is simply astounding. I haven't seen a ride duplicate the ride system either. So that's very exciting.
Awesome. And this feels like it came out yesterday, but this is over 20 years old.
Well, yeah, I was like, what is it? 2004?
2003, I think.
Jeez Louise. Oh, what a
Rodney?
beautiful story.
So with this one, and me and a coworker that one I talked about earlier that's younger than me, he's a comic nut, comic book movie nut, and we had talked about I could have gone between this and Volume 2, as far as the music, but I went with this one because it just, to me, we talked about a few times here how the music is a character.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget when the first trailer came out and they played Hooked on a Feeling.
I love that song.
And at that time, the only instance I remember of hearing Hooked on a Feeling was it was part of the Reservoir Dogs soundtrack. And then also back in the 90s, you stay up late at night, like, 14, 15-year-old Rodney back in the day to watch the infomercial on the food dehydrator, and they show a commercial where they will start off with that ooga chaga,
Ooga chaka.
and then they will turn to, hey, buy this record or CD with all these different songs. And Hooked on a Feeling was the first one that they would pop up there. And so with Guardians of the Galaxy now, Hooked on a Feeling, I, lay synonymous with Guardians of the Galaxy. That and, Come and Get Your Love. I think I had maybe heard that in passing, as a youth. But, that's the first song we're playing in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Redbone.
Yeah. And then, they turn around and use it again in the, it's the first, it's a song we start out with in Guardians, and it's a song we end in Guardians 3.
Yep.
And so that's another one that I, equate to Guardians of the Galaxy, it's just so many songs, and there's songs that I had never really, I don't think I ever heard of, but hearing them in this movie, it drew me in. The songs drew me in. I mean, like I said, I've talked about Come Get Your Love, but you also got, you got Spirit in the Sky that I'd heard long before.
Got Brandy.
Yeah, Brandy. You got Cherry Bomb, the Pina Colada song, Ain't No Mountain High, Ooh Child. I mean, yes, Ooh Child. I can't think of that without thinking of Dance Battle.
Dance Battle.
I hear that, and I'm like, hey, who wants a dance battle?
This is a soundtrack I just put on YouTube. I just play it in the house because every song is a banger. And you said it. We've said it a couple times about being a character, but the truth is, it is so connected to Star-Lord or to what's his name, that does help. The whole thing is kind of hinged on his music, which is really cool too. It's a storyline piece.
And then even so that it was, you can even say it was product placement because the tape his mom gives him is called the Awesome Mix. The soundtrack is called Guardians of the Galaxy, the Awesome Mix.
Right.
This did not make my list just because I would have had a hard time choosing between the three. I thought the soundtrack for the third movie was awesome, and truth be told, almost multiple songs, well, at least more than 2 songs made it to my wedding playlist, either in the reception in time or like the cocktail hour, or my wedding ended with not the second to last song of Guardians 3, which was Florence and the Machine, Dog Days Are Over. And so I'm a little skewed to like that movie more, but I think just the Guardians franchise as a whole.
I think so. As a whole, they all have the great music.
Whole,
I would agree that it's number one.
Yeah,
but
and I feel it's going to be a little bit of a cheat if I did, all of them.
True.
There's no rules here except no musicals.
Yeah.
No, great choice. And like I said, yeah, this would have been on mine, but the way they set the movie with Star-Lord dancing during the opening credit scene, Come and Get Your Love. So I mean, that set the stage for the
tone.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And then, they even brought that scene into Avengers Endgame. You start off and you hear, because I remember when I saw Endgame and all of a sudden this first chords hit, everybody in theater just started clapping because they knew, okay, and clapping with the beat because they just knew, hey, we're going back to that scene.
Yep. And then even the show stealing in Infinity War with Rubber Band Man.
Yes.
Guardians 3 can have the best soundtrack ever, and I'll never watch it again. That movie's sad. Honestly, that's one of the last Marvel movies that made me feel something.
That is sass.
Oh.
Well, you knew it would be on it, right? What is this, number 6? No, number 5. So 5 for me is Footloose. And although the movie does not stand out for me, like, it's a huge 80s, like, it's almost like sacrilege not to love it. But I don't love this film in general. Like, I don't like to watch it, but I'll listen to this soundtrack. So it has brought us so much music. You get your Footloose by Kenny Loggins, but you've got Let's Hear It for the Boy, Almost Paradise, Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler, who rest in peace just recently as well. So Kenny Loggins has some more songs, Sammy Hagar. Footloose's soundtrack is probably, you listen to the songs, you don't always go, oh, that's from Footloose. You just know that's a banger from the 80s. Luckily, Footloose has it all in this wonderful film that, again, it's just not one of my favorite films to rewatch at all. I don't feel it's rewatchable for me, but it just didn't hit me like other people do. But still, the soundtrack did, so I had to put it on here because it got us a lot of music. And like I always say on my channel and Gen Experience, is that the stuff that came out of Gen X, we're still talking about, we're still loving, we're still redoing, we're still remaking. So there's something quality about this stuff. It will last longer than me.
Fun fact: I was in a well-established production of Footloose, done by my local church. And do you want to take a guess of who I was?
Were you Kevin Bacon?
I was not Kevin Bacon.
Were you the
No.
were you the priest father or the pastor father?
I was not. No. I was Chuck.
Okay,
I got to sing "The Girl Gets Around."
you like that, I bet.
It was a great song. I definitely could not hit the notes, but it was a great.
You tried your best.
Uh,
Spoiler
That's by
alert.
Sammy Hagar, so that would have been tough. Yeah.
So I would say, spoiler alert, this was on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
And this was the one I struggled. Man, I gotta get this one on here, but I just don't know where.
Well, I covered you. I put it in, so you're good.
Yeah, because I, and this one sticks to me because, you said the 80s and, the king of soundtracks in the 80s, Kenny Loggins.
Right.
But
Oh,
also
yeah.
years back, I
Chicago.
don't know if you guys ever watched movie fights on Screen Junkies, that they were running a contest where they were asking viewers to send submissions for a potential spot on their show. And the video they were asking for was best song used in a movie. And so I sent a video in where I, gave my opinion on Let's Hear It for the Boy. That I felt that, I won't say it's the best song of a movie, but it's one of my favorite songs, as far as movies.
I mean, the keyboard riff is
Yeah, there's something special about it.
And just talked about how, you watch that, that montage with Chris Penn and the music flows with him tripping over himself to eventually becoming, a world-class dancer.
Right.
Oh man, what was his name in that? I couldn't dance.
I forget his name, man.
And now all the studios are trying to copy the blueprint. Yeah, I remember the downfall of the remake of this movie is when Zac Efron pulled out, which I don't know if it would have saved it, but he didn't want to be typecast. Footloose, that means Top Gun is coming soon, maybe. Let's hear it for the boy. Footloose was my pick. I didn't know Almost Paradise was from Footloose. I remember it from the TV ad for Monster Ballad CD compilation.
Okay, this made me laugh when I read that about Captain because, it's just like you said about you and the infomercials at night, Rodney. The fact that this very popular soundtrack, very popular song, and here they are in those commercials for get your Monster Ballad CD compilation. And it's like, and Almost Paradise, right from the Footloose soundtrack. So I love that they end up on those. It's almost like Kid Bop or something. By the way, the character's name was Willard Hewitt.
Willard.
Oh,
It was Willard.
yeah.
I remember Dazed and Confused also did have a good soundtrack. It was weird to find out that Denise Williams was not a one-hit wonder.
That's funny you say that because I wasn't sure of the rest of her stuff.
Yeah. Footloose, okay. And my not sure what number. Newsies. Newsies.
It's your number 5.
Number 5. Great movie. The songs are amazing. They're not sung the best, mostly by another person that's been on this list before, Christian Bale. His song, he butchered his song. But
He
Kings
is
of
not good in that.
No. Santa Fe is a bad song, but Kings of New
It's
York.
a good song sung poorly.
Kings of New York, and then the I can't think of the other song. The other song that they sing with the news writer. I hate the musical. The musical changed a bunch of lyrics, they didn't change it for the better. It was just weird. But the movie, I think, still holds up. He wasn't the best singer. That at least they got him to sing and they kept it, so it was authentic.
Yes.
I'll give it that. Also filmed on the back lot of Hollywood Studios. I think it was. No, it wasn't. It was.
I'll get back to you.
Look
I
it
don't
up.
think so.
Look it up. I missed those commercials. Monster ballads, sing along hits,
But
butt jams.
That was the MGM
I had the
series.
jock jams.
I do remember.
Oh my
Jock
gosh, I remember those.
So anyway, Kings of New York, and actually that was the song with the news guy. What's the opening song?
Okay, parts of it were filmed there. Yes,
That's my cigar.
You're
I'll
right,
have
you're
another.
right.
Uh,
Parts of it were filmed there. Okay,
someone called it
Someone called it.
Top
and
Gun.
it wasn't on mine because I saw that and was like, "Oh, it's not on mine." Rodney.
So I know that the guys on I apologize, the Boom podcast.
Boombox.
Boombox.
Boombusters.
Boombusters.
Yeah, Boombusters, yes. I watched their video last week and they talked about, how this is America. And I've never really got that. And I can see where they come up with that this screams America. I can see that. But for me,
America.
this just screams like this is bro. This is the bro soundtrack.
Right, Rodney,
Oh,
you just described America.
Kind of bro culture.
But I just I've always said that this, and I when I was in the Army and I was stationed in Korea, I had a buddy of mine in our group. He was the youngest one of us, and I think he had just seen Top Gun for the first time, and he was just in love with it. And he would just come into my room, and it wouldn't matter what I was playing. He would just go to my computer and just. It's like, all right, yep, let's go ahead, let's listen to Danger Zone. And you start off the movie with that, and then fast forward 30 some odd years, 40 years later, Top Gun Maverick, and you start off the same way of Danger Zone. And then on top of that, you can say what you want about the volleyball scene, but if you playing with the boys, I'm pretty certain you're going to say, let's go play some volleyball.
So you were in the military, or you're in the military?
Yeah, it was.
Are the volleyball games like that?
So we did it. we didn't play volleyball. No. No, we just, we would every now and again play some football, but never having, hey, let's put some Kenny Loggins in the background or anything.
They didn't believe Kenny Loggins was going to be able to make that song. Kenny Loggins wasn't known for that kind of song. And so he gets Danger Zone. He pulls it out of his butt and it's fantastic. And people are like, oh, holy shit, he can.
I could see that as well, bro. It is a very bro-y movie. I mean, what's the word? I don't know. Anyway, a bit off topic, but favorite war movie?
I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, I have to think about that
I
one.
would. I have to. I'll maybe have it at the end. I'll have to think about it.
Get out of my room. I don't want to play any more beach volleyball.
But I mean, even you have, like I said, you have Playing with the Boys, Danger Zone.
Yeah.
I now I say this, I think back to a buddy of mine when we were in high school, John Thomas. We were in 9th grade, and he was running for some class, president or vice president or something for our grade. And as he's giving his speech, he has the Top Gun theme playing in the background as he's giving his speech.
That's cool.
That sold it. That he won, right?
Yeah, he won it. Yeah.
I feel the need for speed. And then
So-
just a quick comment from Spader One, the Hot
Yeah.
Shots movie. It did give us the Hot Shots movie.
Yeah, parody enough. This is a sad story. I got Top Gun, the soundtrack. So I've told you before on the show that there was a point in my life where my parents were like, you don't get any more toys. And so I remember this birthday came up and I was so wishing for something. And I got the Top Gun soundtrack. And so out of spite that I had no toys, I never opened it. Never listened to it. Now, I know the songs from the radio, but I have no idea where it is. I never opened it in my life. I never listened to it. So just a fun story.
Someone mentioned
Here it is.
Batman.
Somebody did mention Batman, so if you're still there, here it is. I went to this with my father in 1989. I went into the theater, it was packed. We were so excited to see it. These ads, these trailers were selling it for me, and I was so excited. The album, is kind of a two-parter. It's all the musical soundtrack by Prince, and then the rest of it is the score by, I think, Danny Elfman. So there's this really twofold about this soundtrack. It's amazing. But it's the Prince that I love. The songs on Batman. Bat Dance is, of course, going to be the hit on the dance music everybody can listen to on the radio. The video is so sexual. It's insane. But there's other things like Trust is a great one. The Party Man, The Future, the songs on that album. I listened to this a lot more than I thought because I wasn't like a huge, let me just listen to Prince. I listened to it because it was Batman and Prince. It was fantastic. So loved this album.
Who do you trust?
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy one time. He asked me. He was like, "Dude, the '89 Batman. What time frame is it set in?" And for the longest time, I always felt it was in the 30s, in the 40s, or whatever. And I was like, "It was in the 40s, dude." And he's like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Yes, it is. It's set in the 40s." Like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Look at the deco and the way they're dressed and everything. It's set in the 40s." And he comes to me, he's like, "Well, if it's set in the 40s, why are they running around with boomboxes playing Prince?"
No, I think it's a timeless movie for the most part.
And
Yeah,
I didn't have anything else to say after that. I was like, "Oh my God, you're right." Yeah.
I've always known since Batman came out in the 40s that every time they do a Batman movie, there is some nod, whether it's the fedora and the trench coat, whether it's the mom and the pearls and the backflash, whatever they do, they somehow tie it. They connect it with that origin story from, 46, 49, whenever he came out. Well, actually came out earlier. But yeah, there's always a motif or aesthetic of the 40s. So I can see why you saw that. Like the press is in their trench coats and their hats, but it's all modern time.
And then, the cars outside the Batmobile, they were like 40 style. And like I said, the gangsters were dressed like your typical 40 style movie gangsters.
100%. It was to homage and nod to, which was awesome. But yeah, it was modern.
But then this score also influenced the animated show. It wasn't exact, but like there was elements of it, which then influenced the Batman and that score. So pretty cool.
When you say the Batman, the movie, or the Batman, the animated, because there was the Batman animated too.
Robert Pattinson movie. It's like dun dun dun.
He didn't get Prince soundtrack, so the score is great. I just love that Prince soundtrack, and I was kind of surprised at like Prince soundtrack.
The museum scene and the parade scene was awesome.
Yes.
My next one is La Bamba.
La Bamba.
And this showed up on my favorite movie scenes when his brother yells, "Richie!"
Yes. Yeah.
I love this movie, and I think this movie is what got me into music as a whole. But other than the title song, Donna, Ushalina, then you had Buddy Holly songs were on the soundtrack, the Big Bopper.
All the people that died in the plane.
I have an 80s movie on mine. Just saying.
You do, and it's a good movie. It was a good biopic. This is where they used Lou Diamond Phillips really well. Poor guy, sadly disappeared, but he had talent.
Yeah, but I remember I had this on cassette tape, and I begged for this. I think I got it in my Easter basket one year. Yeah, and you know what? Richie Valens did not speak Spanish at all.
Yeah, La Bamba was a movie that
interesting.
It was always, it was always on TV. It was always on TV.
Like always on HBO or something.
Yeah, always on HBO. Yeah, I remember watching it, and always seeing the music video because you had Los Lobos in the music video, but it wasn't, and that was really the only song I always kind of equated to it. But then when I got older, something in me said, "Hey, you know what?" I was watching one day because my wife was surprised that I had even watched that movie. And I remember telling her how much I loved it. And something told me, like, you know what? I never went to see like what the score or the soundtrack was like, and went and listened to it one day, and I was just hooked. I was like, oh yeah, yep, I'm buying that. Yep, I got the whole right now.
I don't know, so good. But Los Lobos, when I used to work late nights and drive home from work on NPR, it would always be Los Lobos playing, and I would just listen to it. Let's see. Real Heads, No Singles, Angus, Boogie Nights, Natural Born Killers, Lost Highway are the best rock soundtracks of the 90s. You might see one of those on.
We already
Yo
saw
no
last time.
soy marinero, soy capitán.
Soy capitán. Soy capitán.
Underrated
soy
pick is Beautiful Girl soundtrack. I do like that movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
It was on the soundtrack, but in the movie, but Sleepwalk from the funeral scene. Oh, yeah. So sad.
Mm.
Basically, every time you see the plane or at the end, it's just Richie. Yeah, you made fun of me for like my favorite movie moments, but that was
totally because they were. You had not made the assignment clear like this one. So just telling you.
Pulp Fiction has some bangers on it. It does.
Of course it did. Yes, it did.
All right, Disney sweeping house again.
So earlier we talked about the Disney Renaissance, and I think Lion King, we can all agree, was the apex of that Renaissance. And it wasn't a movie that when it came out I was clamoring that I gotta go see it. I remember we actually went to go see Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, and they had I think they were doing like a sneak preview of the Lion King along with it, and so we saw Honey, I Blew Up the Baby, and then watched this, and I'm thinking, okay, because I'd seen on Disney Channel they'd shown like the opening, and that thinking, okay,
told you, right? That was crazy.
Yeah, thinking that was all they were going to show us, from that movie. They show the opening, cut the black. All right, bye, thank you all for coming out. Movie comes out whenever, but they showed the whole thing, and I was just enthralled from beginning to end. And matter of fact, like I said, I some of these I went back and re-listened to yesterday and today, and I listened to this one again yesterday. And you got Elton John, and just from beginning to end, Elton John. I think Hans Zimmer did the score pieces on it, but you got I Just Can't Wait to Be King, Circle of Life, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? My kids, I will play this in the car and I would sing to it, and they just kind of look like, how does this dude know the song, the words of this song and stuff? I Just Can't Wait to Be King and Be Prepared. I could probably, if you put me in karaoke, I could probably sing those songs without looking at the screen.
This I would say the Disney Renaissance, going off a Spada one. Disney Renaissance is one of the greatest runs of musical dominance in history, hit after hit, movie after movie, from genre to genre. I'm going to say it sparked with Oliver and Company and fizzled out after Tarzan.
Yeah.
Because
I'd agree.
There's
Tarzan, good span, but they ruined themselves because they were doing a formula and the formula worked. And now whenever they make it with music, for a while they'd stop doing music at all. They might put one in the credits. And then when they went back to musicals, nothing's that catchy. Nothing is that, I want to leave the theater singing. Like I want to leave the theater singing The Lion King. Yeah. You left singing Lion King music.
They crushed it with Tangled, Frozen, and Moana.
Tangled, Frozen, Moana, no.
Yeah.
Even a song that, like you said, Victor, you walked out singing the song or humming the songs. Even if there's a song that's not on the soundtrack, but you still came out probably, seeing it. The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Right, that is true. That's another one you could have left with.
Oh. But it was Thomas, all in the
you're probably right. But there was one. Like when I think of Frozen, there's truly just one in everyone's head. And then Tangled, which is a fantastic film. It had, it's harder. You don't have this whole show of music in your head. It's like a one hit.
Like they're not all bangers. They're not all bangers.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
and that's
like-
fine, and that's okay. But Moana, I still can't even like. I don't. All I do is I'm Moana. Like that's all I know. Her yelling that.
But
Yeah, I
to
like them.
Rodney's point, not on any of our lists, but The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I think one of the best songs on that soundtrack is not in the movie. It's at the end credits, Someday. And I think
100%.
that is one of the best ballads ever.
Pocahontas
not
has the
even in the
same
movie.
issue. They have a ballad that they wrote for John Smith and Pocahontas. Didn't work well with Mel
Oh.
Gibson singing it. They put it
Yeah.
at the end with, and that's a great song. So
And then
Oh,
even like you mentioned about the Disney Renaissance kind of fizzling out. I think of like a movie like
I
Mulan,
never-
which is a good movie, and it
yes.
has some bangers to it.
Yeah.
With Make a Man Out of You and Reflections.
If I Never Knew You was the Pocahontas
That's the
song
one between the two.
in my memory bank. Like Let It Go broke through and is now one of the most iconic original songs. Yeah, that is true.
100%.
That is true.
That's that one because you don't think of the others. Although I prefer the one sung by her sister.
I like the one. I like Olaf's song, Summer.
Oh, here we are
Blade
at my
Runner.
number 3. All right, somebody in the comments, give me some love here. Blade Runner, first being an underrated film. It is tied as my top favorite movie of all time, tied with Alien. So those two movies are my top. But Blade Runner soundtrack, which isn't all score, but Vangelis is the band or the whatever the band that made most of the music. There is a number with words. It's a very throwback to a 1940s kind of song, but most of it is a surreal sci-fi just high. It is a trip that you go on in your mind. It is creepy at the same time, soothing, great to go on a nap with, but it's real cerebral. And I love every minute of it. I play the soundtrack on vinyl often. It's very cool. It sounds great with the scratches.
Get that nice crackle.
Yep.
I think
Absolutely.
thinking of the sound of this movie is if you watch modern day horror movies, it's
Mhm.
almost like they're trying to emulate it.
Okay,
So
that's nice.
this-
I'm gonna have to think of
the
that.
sound has never died, honestly.
Say that again. Like the sound never dies.
Like the sound, like the mood that this music kind of creates, like has never
Right, it
really
never,
like,
they
died.
never end it. It just it overlaps and it continues throughout. That's a good point. I like that.
So
Yeah.
Victor, let me ask you.
Yeah.
I've never fully watched Blade Runner. I've seen bits and pieces when I was
Missing out.
younger, and I know there's like 4 different versions. Which do you recommend?
Oh wow, that's tough. I think there's 3 main ones, and I'm gonna get the names wrong of them, but I do like there is a version at the end where there's an extension of seeing them driving in a beautiful countryside. Don't watch that one. I'm gonna have to get the names for you. I like the one that keeps it really like it ends in blackness and boom, it goes to credits. And there's a lot of questions, like someone put in the Spaded one, put in the comments. What's going on here? What is it? I'm going to sit back and think about this for another 20 minutes about what I think just happened. So I think it's the theatrical release, but it was released one way and then they re-released it. So I'm going to have to get back to you. I can't remember which one is what it's called. But I also like it when they put a couple extra scenes in. So there are some things I like all of them for a reason. Kind of like Aliens. I really love the original theatrical, but I love the director's cut. This, I kind of like the director's cut, but there's some things I wish they didn't do. And I guess, Rodney, I can't answer that. You should see them both or all 3. Blade Runner is a
Right.
great movie. It is a good movie. You got to see it. But the soundtrack is very thoughtful and cerebral.
All right, this is number 3.
Yeah.
All right, so starting off with my number 3, 3, 2, 1, I think is the millennial trifecta.
Okay.
So going into my number 3, a Goofy movie. So Disney has
Disney.
made the list again. Stand out, eye to eye, on the open road. Mostly those 2 pop songs. So this is technically during the Disney Renaissance, and I can't think of the last time they did a full-length movie featuring like some of the Fab Five characters. And to this day, millennials go ape shit for those two Powerline songs, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I think like there's even the amount of merchandise that's come out over the last couple of years to feed the millennials with Powerline, and then just those two songs. I think you can listen to those 10 years ago now, and they still sound just as good as they did when you first heard them in the mid to early to mid 90s. Any love for Goofy Movie?
Those two
I
songs,
really
yeah.
enjoyed it, but the music, and I'm sorry, Rodney, I interrupted. So please go ahead.
No, those two songs, because I know one. I think the first time I was on the show, we had talked about the Mondo Goofy Movie set, and we had talked about those two songs for a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah, and
so
I say my next three are the trifecta because I don't think most millennials would agree with the rest of my list before that, but I think most millennials would agree with this and the next two.
so they're going to be very millennial-esque era movies.
Maybe.
Soundtrack. Maybe.
Maybe.
So the Goofy Movie, I have an affinity to. For those who don't know, I was good friends with Goofy for many years at Disney theme parks. So I did go see I saw the film and I enjoyed it a lot. A lot of little Easter eggs as well. I am not one of those like, oh my God, Powerline. Not at all. There's not even the songs that I like, the fishing. I'm like the whole, like the perfect cast. I think it's cheesy and dumb, but I love the movie as a whole, but nothing about that. And it probably my age that made me go like, that's cringy. But so many people love it now. He's so pop culture. People are wearing the shirts, wearing the costume. Max wears the costume in the parks. So I know how popular it is.
That intro keyboard song. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's epic.
I'd have
That's
to
epic.
think, I'd have to listen to it again.
Blade Runner is one of those movies they keep tinkering with and releasing, like The Warriors. I didn't know they redid The Warriors. You
didn't
got to
either.
find the right version.
Rodney, I can help you out now. Rodney, I did quickly look up the 4 versions of Blade Runner because I wanted to tell you the one I liked. So it is the US theatrical cut. Nope, I'm sorry. It is the 1992 director's cut. So that is the one I've seen all 4, but that's the name of the one I like better. So director's cut 1992. That's the one.
Okay.
I was going to say if you want to start there, but there is obviously the 1982 international, 1982 US theatrical, and the 2007 final cut. I do not like the 2007 final cut.
They recently did a VR video for this movie. You can look around during the Powerline sequence at the end as an audience member. It's on YouTube. So super freaking cool. I did not
You
know
got to
that.
look that up.
That's
look
cool.
that up.
That is cool. I was good friends with the Disney Parks Goofy too. Wink, wink. We all know what that means. Not a lot of 65 theater majors running around.
Very interested, Spaded. So yeah, for about from 1992 to 1996, I was good friends with tall folks over in the Disney parks. Even one that was with Pocahontas and one with Ariel. So yeah, I look old now. You should have seen me back then. Much prettier.
Were you friends with Esmeralda?
No, I was too short for Esmeralda's friend. So even no, I couldn't have been Esmeralda, by the way. So, but Phoebus, are you talking about? No.
Phoebus. Modern versions of the Warriors have comic book animated transitions. They're no bueno. Oh, that's weird. I do remember the Warriors video game on PS2. That was awesome. All right, number 2, and then honorable mentions, and the number 1.
Okay, all right.
So I hope I don't get your channel banned or anything, but earlier I talked about Tarzan being what it must feel like to be on cocaine. This is cocaine right here. That
maybe
this is
maybe one the speed, one maybe the other cocaine.
That this right here, I mean, this screams America.
Yes.
That we talk about the 80s, just came out with so many banger soundtracks. And this is one that, I mean, we talk toys and everything, and we also talk about how the 80s, the cartoons were nothing more than 30-minute commercials for the toys. This was a 90-minute commercial for the soundtrack.
Wow.
Because basically all it is, you know, I'm a huge Rocky fan. This is Rocky 4. I think I teeter between this one and Rocky. The original Rocky is my second favorite Rocky. My favorite Rocky is Rocky Balboa. But this movie is just 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute music video. And, you know, because it's just montage after montage.
A lot of montages, yeah.
And, you know, you start off, you know, coming off, you know, from Rocky, showing the end of Rocky 3, and you start off with Eye of the Tiger. Then you transition to next songs. You got Double or Nothing, other bangers, you know, Living in America, No Easy Way Out, Hearts on Fire, Man Against the World. What else is on there? I mean, Man Against the World is not even in the actual movie, but you know, fast forward to a couple of years ago, they did the director's cut of Rocky 4, and they replaced Eye of the Tiger at the beginning with a song that's on the soundtrack of Rocky 4, Sweetest Victory, to lead into the actual Rocky 4 movie. And then on top of that, it was years ago. One of the things that what stopped this for me, and the littlest thing that stopped this for me for being my number one favorite soundtrack, is the song Hearts on Fire. So in the movie, you know, during that montage, they're playing that song, and then you get to a part where he's running away from the bodyguards and run up the hill, and then the music just changes. Dun, 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 dun. But on the soundtrack, it doesn't have that piece. And that was something that bothered me for the longest time, until I want to say it was about 2010 or so, that I found that they actually had came out with a Rocky 4 score by Vince DiCola, who did the score for Transformers the movie.
Oh my gosh.
And in that score, it's a separate piece, but they have that piece of when he's running up the mountain.
In there.
And it's
titled, in that one.
Yeah, it's titled Up the Mountain. And then on top of that, it has different versions. It has a movie version of the music that's played during the fight, where on the original soundtrack, it has a variation of that version, but two totally different, but they both hit. And, you know, for me, like I said, you know, a lot of the stuff, and I know for me, when we talk about, you know, I may mention that, you know, Lion King was the apex of Disney Renaissance. I know for me that when I'll defend Rocky 5, and I know it's the worst of all the Rocky movies, but I have my parts in it. I've thrown out the friends of like why I like Rocky 5. But I remember when going to see Rocky 5, I'm going into it thinking, are we going to get the same energy we had from Rocky 4?
No.
And in the music, we didn't.
I got my nickname Tommy Guns though.
We just need to admit right now that Rodney is the historian of Rocky soundtrack. That was so well. You could write an essay. That was a lot of info, but you've studied it well and you've really thought deeply about it. So way to go. That was fascinating.
Thank you.
I really don't know anything about these soundtracks of Rocky at all. Like, I saw all the Rocky movies, but I didn't pay attention. Rocky 1, who doesn't know Eye of the Tiger? But I wasn't interested or listening to it. I didn't pay attention much. I didn't really care. Maybe I'm just not a fan. I like all the Rocky movies are fine, but I don't really enjoy them.
Was Eye of the Tiger in the first Rocky movie?
It wasn't. You had was it Gonna Fly Now, which was I
don't even know Rocky enough.
His training montage, that was the standout from the first Rocky, and then the first Rocky has that, and and then the second one was kind of a repeat of that, but now I think the first Rocky I want to say came out in 1976, and I think the second one was like 19 79, 80 maybe.
Sick.
And
man.
yes, and I'm Boom Busters podcast. If you guys ever do another podcast on movies, soundtracks will not holler at your boy. But Measure of a Man by Elton John and Rocky V. I mean, like I said, Rocky V is not a great movie, but the end credits of Rocky V, they're going back through and showing scenes from all the Rockies leading up to that. And that song is played over. And I think that song beautifully encapsulates what the Rocky character is and the story leading up to that point.
Love this one. The movie is as 80s as it gets, and the soundtrack fits so well. Saw Jimmy Carrey Rocky skit. Scarface is another great 80s soundtrack. It is, but before I saw Scarface, it was the Vice City soundtrack. So, Get Up, Rock, because Mickey loves you.
Mickey loves you. Get up, you son of a bitch, because Mickey loves you.
That's it. My show's canceled. No,
Right.
I'm sorry. I won't make it to 5 times. So sorry.
Yeah. We say worse things
right.
in here.
Yeah.
Xanadu.
Okay, number 2, and I don't care if anybody laughs. Xanadu is almost the best soundtrack movie ever. I'm a huge fan of ELO. ELO has some wonderful music, even outside of Xanadu. Beautiful songs, but this soundtrack, tied with Olivia Newton-John, it's gorgeous and it is magical. And the thing is, the movie is not good, and it's beyond. It's not there. Dazzler, very similar. It's not campy. It's cheese. It's cheeseoid, and you've got the great oh my god, the great dancer. And I love old movies. Gene. Come on, dancer, famous dancer. You guys don't know.
Sorry.
Gene Kelly. Thank you. Gene Kelly. And then you got the guy from Warriors. I can't remember his name. And of course, Olivia Newton-John. And the muses are back. This is a story about the muses. She's Kira. She's giving this power to this artist to inspire him, but they're inspired to open a roller disco. So, but the soundtrack is so fantastic that you'd go see the movie just to hear that soundtrack over and over. I do have it on record. As a matter of fact, we had most of this music at our wedding, and we took the LP and it became the sign-in instead of a book. So everybody had paint pens and they wrote their names on the album. So we put it on the vinyl album. Everybody put their names who attended the wedding. So we could frame it was one of those albums that folded out and the album was there and everybody signed it. So used much. This is the music we used to go down the aisle and it started our reception as well. So love Electric Light Orchestra, or ELO, and of course Olivia Newton-John. So this is number 2, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Oh, I love Xanadu. What came first, Xanadu or Starlight Express?
Xanadu. Oh gosh, I think they're really close. I feel like Xanadu came out in 1981 or 80.
They were both roller skating musicals, weren't they?
Starlight Express was a Broadway musical on roller skates, and then Xanadu is a film that roller derby comes in. So Xanadu is 1980. Starlight Express debuted.
Musicals love rollerblading.
So Xanadu came out first.
Musicals love,
but everybody
nowadays. Like the Little Mermaid musical was all on rollerblades. Roller skates.
No, I think just her, right? Wasn't it just her?
Oh, I think anyone that swam.
Oh, okay. Were they?
Because roller skating.
We used to roller skate constantly, so it just was normal for this to happen. Now having a roller disco was completely wild. But that final number, the actual theme song Xanadu sung at the end, is about a 16-minute song with all the instrumental in between. It's fantastic stunts, though. Got to see it.
I do like Xanadu. I'm going to throw a curveball and say the original TMNT movie soundtrack is perfect for what it is. Surprisingly, not on my list. Just saying. But you know what is on my list? Batman Forever. Oh,
well, I covered Batman, so there you go.
You did. I love how the time progresses. This soundtrack was amazing, and they did try to capture the magic with Batman and Robin, not so much. Can Kiss from a Rose, Seal, amazing. Then you had U2, had the opening song on the soundtrack, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. Amazing. The Offspring, Smash It Up when Robin's driving around the Batmobile. Such a great album. This one, I think most millennials remember this soundtrack fondly. I could be wrong, but I'm going to stick to that.
I do not. So there you go. Probably true. You're
And
probably right.
You also have one there I thought underrated, Method Man, the Riddler.
Riddler, yeah. Unfortunately, Batman didn't get skates until the movie after that.
And that would have sold better.
Yes, the Method Man, the Riddler was a great song. When Robin is driving the Batmobile and yells out, "Wanna ride in my love machine, baby?"
It was a
That
great
ain't
scene.
Batman. That's Batboy. Great movie. After this, I think we're moving on to honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
And yes,
That's the first duplicate, and it's an honorable mention.
so far.
So those are my honorable mentions, but we also we made mention of Footloose on here already, but a couple other ones I can just randomly just throw out there that for me that I struggle with that. The Blues Brothers, Back to the Future,
Very nice.
Secret of My Success, just a couple that come to mind. Pulp Fiction, that also come to mind as far as soundtracks that I had to cross off.
I did not put the Boogie Nights poster on here just because I wanted to look at Roller Girl.
And Boogie Nights, I just re-listened to that one earlier today, and and I haven't watched Boogie Nights in so long, but I just remember, the music, as I was listening to music today, it's a time capsule that the movie starts out in the 70s, works away into the 80s and into the 90s, and the music flowed the same way.
I watched this movie a lot, especially a few scenes more than once.
Really? Right.
Or pause. But
Sister Christian.
the oh man, the William H. Macy character. What a roller coaster that guy goes through. Let's see. This one's a huge hit. Loved it as a kid. Love it now. Even setting aside the big hits, you also have Nick Cave, Massey Star, Flaming Lips. Oh yeah, on the Batman Forever soundtrack. I will be listening to all of these. Have you all done a top video game soundtrack? Not yet. Actually.
Soundtrack.
I couldn't be on that one.
I couldn't be on that one. I couldn't even be on that.
Yeah, I couldn't. Sorry.
My
I
brother's
played
a
video games,
yeah.
but I didn't even know there's soundtracks to video games. Are there?
There's some good music in video games. Boogie Nights is a near perfect movie. It is a great movie.
Yeah,
it is a great movie. The Sister Christian scene, the donut shop robbery,
Yes.
great film. Yeah,
that and New Year's Eve, like you said, William H. Macy and his wife.
rough, really rough. Yeah. All right, honorable mentions: Footloose and Boogie Nights.
All right,
Victor?
I put in The Goonies and Empire Strikes Back. So I put in one that had a list of songs and one that is a score. So don't want to go through, of course, all the usual Star Wars and E.T. and Raiders of the Lost Ark, but Empire Strikes Back actually takes Star Wars' success, elevates it. Beautiful new entries into the suite of music. I do love the new enhanced and the extra content that's in the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack a lot more. So that one out of the three is my fave. But as for Goonies, if anyone remembers Cyndi Lauper as The Goonies Are Good Enough, which is the one that made radio play. That was the single from that album. But you've got the Bangles on there. You've got REO Speedwagon and Luther Vandross, and you have another song from Cyndi Lauper, What a Thrill. So the Goonies soundtrack is a lot of fun, but it's one that gets lost in the movie. You really are got to be the kind of person that's listening in the background. They're never the star of the show. They're really never featured, except for the one Cyndi Lauper song, which is playing on the TV like it's a music videos playing on the TV in the house. So I thought I'd throw these in just to shake it up a little bit, but I thought these were good honorable mentions.
Really good ones. A lot of songs that we mentioned, there is a pop punk band called Newfound Glory. They did a whole movie covers it was called like From the Screen to Your Stereo. Yeah. And they did Goonies Are Good Enough.
Oh, okay. Wow,
yeah.
Really cool. All right, and then I feel like we could have just done a John Williams list. So
Right, exactly.
but great choices.
Maybe for another show.
Yeah, maybe. My honorable mentions are Armageddon
Mm.
and Blade.
All right,
Armageddon, just an honorable mention because I don't think the score is very memorable, but it did have the hit song by Aerosmith. I think
Right.
other ones you could put in that category, Titanic, it probably did have a good score, but is overshadowed by the Celine Dion song,
By
My
the
Heart
one
Will Go On.
song, the single.
Blade itself also might have a good soundtrack, but the infamous techno rave scene in the beginning, I've been to many rave shows in the last few years, last 15 years, and without a doubt, this is going to be played by someone throughout the night. It is that ingrained in rave culture, and it comes from this movie. So what it's done for like music in general, I put these two movies on here.
That's nice. I like it. Good reason.
If you love pop punk covers, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes are your band. Yeah, they did a few great covers. Moving on to number one, credited Steven, which is funny. How many lists would Steven Dorff be on twice? Random.
Right.
That is random.
It's crazy.
Number one, Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Very nice choice.
Yeah. So I never got a chance to see Prince in concert. And in the 80s, from what I remember, there are three people that dominated the 80s musically: Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Prince.
Those are probably
And
yeah.
So when you get Purple Rain, I think at the time when Purple Rain came out, I want to say that Purple Rain was maybe my first R-rated movie I saw as a kid. That parents took me to see it. Had no idea what it was about. Maybe heard one or two Prince songs at the time, but in Purple Rain, it's not really a good movie. But the music enhances it because the music it's basically it's the journey of the character. Prince character's name is the Kid, and he's not Prince in there where everyone's just fawning over him. Like, you got some people fawning over him, but he is still searching for something, and he's struggling, and he's using his music as an outlet. And so songs in the movie that to the characters in the movie, they don't really care for, but there are songs to us that have a long-standing memory to them. So song like When Doves Cry.
Mm-hmm.
To the characters in that, they don't really care about it. They're thinking this guy sucks. There's something he's missing, but he hasn't tapped into it. But When Doves Cry is an all-time banger. And then you also factor in, you bring in Morris Day and the Time, and they have Jungle Love, and come to find out that Prince actually wrote that song for them. And as the movie progresses, he's still searching for that song that will carry him over. And he's got everyone around him that wants to help him out, become better. He doesn't want their help until he finally decides, his father tries to take his own life, and finally decides to let his guard down and allow some of his band members to write a song that he plays, and that song being Purple Rain. And I've always said that if we ever come back to a topic of best endings to movies, that I always felt that Purple Rain had the best ending to any movie, because it just, from there, what starts out as a movie then turns into a concert. Because he ends it off with Baby I'm a Star and I Would Die for You. And then another thing that really, for me, later in years, felt, really gravitated, that I really, really love this soundtrack, was 2006. Prince plays the Super Bowl. And I remember that for multiple reasons. Main reason being that my beloved Chicago Bears were in it and lost. But also that Prince does a halftime show. And as he's playing Purple Rain during a halftime show, God must have been a Prince fan because he somehow said, you know what will make this performance even better? If I just had to start raining. And so he's playing Purple Rain in the rain, during the halftime show. And then you kind of, like I said, you're three people that dominate musically in the 80s: Prince, Madonna, Michael Jackson. And I think it was last year I watched a thing on Netflix about the We Are the World, how that came about. And not really knowing at the time until then that there was a rivalry between Prince and Michael Jackson.
Right.
And, they even made a jab at it in the Michael movie where he's like, I better write that song before Prince gets a hold of it.
Yeah.
And so, but it was one of those things that had you had those three acts in that song, I mean, that song was already big at the time, but those three acts as part of that song, who knows how much bigger that song would have been.
That is, during the Super Bowl, I hope they shine some purple light on him.
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah,
there you go. When it was Purple Raining,
missed chance if they didn't.
That is a great number one. Moving on to Victor's number one.
Now, this is amazing. Out of this entire list, besides our honorable mentions, this is the only repeat besides the honorable mentions. And so, Rodney, I saw it in the theater. My brother took me, and I couldn't help but tear up, of course. And I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it to happen. I didn't expect it to be real, and it was real, and he died. Yes, absolutely. That hard part hits you hard. But I am not a heavy metal person. I do not even love hard music. I like to sing along. So I like music that's very melodic, but I didn't care. This soundtrack hit me so hard that every number on it I love. Instruments of Destruction is, Instruments of Destruction. It's just a song that just doesn't resonate with me, but yet I will sing the hell out of that. So all the numbers on this, I know by heart. I sing along. Love it. It does take me back. I got this soundtrack almost immediately after watching the film. And Vince DiCola, that's amazing. I didn't know that he had done that. You had just said Vince had written it for Rocky, right?
Rocky 4, yeah.
Yeah, but he did so much of the score of this. The score of this is also very spacey, which I really liked. So Transformers the movie, that soundtrack is so good. I love the heavy metal irony to it. And I'll listen to that a lot just on my own. It's a great driving song too, if you want to just rock out. So that's my number one.
You mentioned that, and I didn't think about it. Like I mentioned earlier that I tried watching as a kid and then gave it up, after Optimus Prime. And I don't really remember anything in between all that. But when I went back and rewatched it years later, you mentioned Instruments of Destruction. And the scene it's played with, watching, I was like, oh my God, like this is where we're going, because the Decepticons come in and they're just taking people out.
Take every old Transformer toy is dead.
They're taking everyone out, and that song is blasting. It's like, oh my God, whoa.
This poster, there's a version with Optimus Prime and other classic characters around him. But basically what you're looking at here is everybody that replaced them, because that was and wipe the slate clean, put the new guys in. So there's so much going on in this film, and there's so many deleted scenes and scenes that weren't animated that I really wish they would put back in. So just fantastic, but a great soundtrack. Love the listen. So nice. Made a duplicate. Yours was number 10. Mine was number 1.
Love the juxtaposition. We were going to end this with probably one that's no surprise of mine. And it goes to Space Jam.
Knew it was coming. I don't know if the person's still around, but yes.
Front to back. There's not one song on this album that would be skipped. The biggest song, of course, take the R. Kelly out of it. I Believe I Can Fly. I Believe I Can Fly. What a banger. Fly Like an Eagle by Seal. Pump Up the Jam, Technotronic. Giving It All That I Got, Salt and Pepper, Space Jam, the title song by Quad City. Not one song. Basketball Blues. I would listen to this front to back, no skips whatsoever. And it was a character in the movie. It really was. I mean, the whole I Believe I Can Fly is a setup for the end of the movie. He flies and stretches his arm. There was no song about that. But what a banger of an album. So Space Jam has to be, at least for millennials, I think. This is maybe one that most millennials could agree with, and it's Space Jam.
So when I
You
was
want
in high school,
validation.
I don't need it. I know.
Okay.
when I was in high school, when this came out, I had this on tape, and you left off a song that I wore out getting ready for football games, but the Monstars thing.
Can you hit him high?
Yes. I wore that out. I'd be sitting in my locker before a game and just listen to that, rewind, listen to it again, rewind, listen again, rewind, and then it was time to go.
That was a great song. That was a Bad Guy song, though. I remember the videotape came with a gold coin.
Ooh, the collectibles.
I had that. All right. That does it.
That was a
With our
nice,
top 10.
diverse list, people. Very different from all of us.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was very unique.
Everyone that stuck around in the chat, thank you. Hopefully this was a fun conversation. I had fun. Hopefully everybody else did. Boombox, if you're Boombusters, if you're still in the chat, thank you for the idea. As soon as I saw the video, I knew I wanted to talk about this because I knew we all have some different perspectives. So
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up. And let's just start with Rodney. Rodney, tell people where to find you and where they could eventually find you.
So you find me Instagram, my handle Rodney Dent 36. But soon, as I have here, aka Dent in the Wallet Reviews, I will soon be running my own review channel. You see my display behind me. I hope that within maybe this week or maybe in the next week, I do. I'll put up a collection video because this is only part of my collection. I've got a whole room around here, a bunch of stories to tell with it. So soon I will be putting that up, collection video, and then there's probably already videos out there, reviews on it. But what's one more? I'll be trying my hand at reviewing the Embo figure I just picked up. And then, yeah, like I said, once again, that's going to be Dent in the Wallet Reviews.
That's a great name. Yeah, just get the reviews out there. Just get videos out there. Get used to the whole posting and, formulas crap. I don't understand the algorithm as good as some people. But Victor, what do you got going on?
Great. So this week I have When TV Raised Us. So I am talking about when we were taught by Woodsy Owl and Smokey the Bear and the Indian that cried. Talk about the 70s and 80s PSAs that we as Gen Xers were raised by. We were taught how to live and how to be ethically real good people. So yeah, When TV Raised Us, When TV Taught Us, that's coming out this week on the Gen Experience.
Yeah, you can't have shows teaching lessons how to be good people anymore because they'll just be labeled woke.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
I'm going to be continuing my listicle of best Disney action figures. I love when people comment in my videos, you forgot this. I didn't forget. I either intentionally didn't put it on.
I know, right? You're like, I didn't forget. I didn't add it.
But there are a lot more that I want to talk about. So I hope you come and check it out. Everybody, happy Tuesday. Hope you make it to Friday just okay. And then have a wonderful weekend. Until next week, we will catch you next time. So see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Peace out.